Hello and welcome to another Blender tutorial. My name is Colin. It has been some time since I've done a Blender tutorial, but today I wanted to show you something that I really should have showed you a long time ago, which is how to import models from Flyff, the MMORPG, into Blender for your own personal use. You may have seen this in examples of things such as putting in TGE or Legends of Roika. You could very well make such similar things using this method. However, I should let you know this does not include how to import the world map into Blender. Haven't quite figured that one out yet, but as far as characters and monsters go, this will get you there. Before I get started, just to show you what I mean by that, here's a little example of something I've made using this. Go ahead and put that on screen there. And so you will need a couple of things. You will need a program of Blender. I'm not 100% sure what version I'm in right now, but it shouldn't really matter too much. Then you will also need a working copy of Flyff. It doesn't necessarily have to be the official game, which you see here. I am on Fly for Sky, which is a private server of Flyff. And I am going to go ahead and use this one instead because it has a little bit more model options, allowing me to have a little bit more fun with what I am going to put into Blender. The reason I am doing this is because my cousin and I have a series on YouTube, a Let's Play series of us playing through Flyff. We call it the Grindstone. We started out in regular Flyff and eventually moved on to the Fly for Sky private server when needed. And we are coming up on the end of that. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description to that, but coming up on the end of it, we need a little ending animation. And so I'm going to be making both my character here as well as my cousin's character for the animation. I've done this once before, however it was on a computer that's been busted now, so I need to do it again. And this time around I thought I would bring you through the process with me, in case you wanted to know how to do this. And so this is the clothing we are going to be going for. In the Fly for Sky game, there are some custom models such as this hair with this hat on it, which is a recolor of something that does exist in the real Flyff game. The clothing set I'm wearing here is a custom one from Fly for Sky. However, I've gone and retextured some things. I changed the color of the shirt and put one of these axes on the shirt because it's one of my favorite. Other than that, it's all pretty normal. So let's go ahead and get to it. And so the next programs that you will need, I recommend doing this on a Windows 10 computer if possible, to allow you to have access to this Microsoft Store. And we are going to search for something just called 3D Builder, but spelled correctly, of course. And you will come across this app right here, just simply titled 3D Builder. Is free. I can't say I know a whole lot on how to use this, but it is necessary for it, so go ahead and get yourself a copy of that. Next thing, I found out this method when asking some people on the forums for Flyff for Sky how people make a private server and edit things, and I was directed to this forum post from Rage Zone of a program called ATools, which is a set of programs allowing you to do lots of different things with files from downloaded games like this. And go ahead and get yourself a copy of this as well. I will try and leave a link to this in the description as well. All we are going to be using is this model editor. I know that there is a bunch of other ones, however I haven't messed with them before. The world editor might be something to look into if you wanted to put the world into Blender, but today we're just going to be worrying about model editor. And so if you get that going and open up model editor, it should have 2 error messages when you open it up. Might be in a different language, sometimes that happens. I believe if see, view, the third button over should be view, and the second to last one should be language, and the middle one should be English, if that is what you need to do. Next up, let's go ahead and just open up a regular folder to view files on our computer. Go to the My Computer folder, or this PC if you're on Windows 10. We will go to Local Disk, Program Files 86, and go ahead and locate your folder for Flyff. In my case, it is this Flyff for Sky folder. Open that up, and we will go into the Model folder. And here you have a list of all the models of Flyff, as well as a texture folder. If you've ever tried to do this in the past, you may have noticed that all these files are in a file type called O3D, and if you wanted to do this as bad as I wanted to many years ago, you scoured the internet trying to find anything to open an O3D file, whereas most people on the internet would say they've never heard of it, they have no idea what that is or any way to open it. However, Model Editor is pretty good at opening it and resaving it as needed. Blender can barely open it after putting it through Model Editor. It won't have any textures with that, which is where this program 3D Builder comes in. This one seems to open those files just fine, as well as pack the textures with them, and you'll see what that means in a moment. And so in this folder, we could scour through this, but that's a little bit difficult, so I'm going to open up the texture folder, and this will show you all the textures for every model, and they are named the exact same thing as the model, so this helps give you a kind of a hint as to what you're looking for. As you find yourself going up and down these folders many times, as you will, get ready for that. You will get a little bit more of a hang of what these things are named. A lot of the items start with item underscore then something. Monsters are like MVR underscore, or some objects are like OBJ underscore. Here's MVR to find the monsters. Player character pieces start with part underscore. Here's some OBJs. Scrolling down. Or if you want, I could click on one to select the folder and just press the letter P, and that'll bring me down to part. And you'll also find that when looking through these folders or files, a lot of the items in here are not named the same thing as they are in Flyff, such as the Suit of the Rising Sun right here for the first example. It is written as the Angel set. Cyberpunk is Street Smart. I think the Kung Fu set is named something else as well. Annoyingly, my Lusika weapons are named Lusika, Lusika, instead of Lusaka. So it's pretty hard to just search for these sometimes. And so you can see I'm in part underscore F, meaning I'm in the female section. So I can even go up here to the search bar, type in part underscore M for male, and this should bring up all the items that a male character can wear. And let's see, where do I want to start? I guess I'll start with whatever item I come across first. Looks like I ran into the faces first, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that. I think I am always particularly fond of part male head 7, except it just loaded past that. Alright, I found the male head again, so it moved all the way down the bottom after the load there. So part male head 07. So then we will go back into the model editor program. Go ahead and press file and open. And make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. And then you'll be presented with this file explorer. We're going to go ahead and find the My Computer or this PC button again. Go to local disk, program files 86, fly for sky, models, and then just go ahead and search up here, part, male, head, and we want 07. The flash is the blinking version, so I'm trying to avoid that one. And you'll see it open something up over here, as well as many animations for the different types of animations your character can do in the game. You can ignore all that. To move around in this space, you middle click to rotate the camera. Zoom in and out with the wheel. I believe you hit shift and middle click to pan around. Yep. And so there is the face, just like that. Most of the head, I should say. You can load many different things at once, which is what we're going to try and do. So we're going to go ahead and pop back into the texture folder here. I should mention, however, that if you load a new item that is of... sorry, my headphones beep at me if no noise is making sound. If you load another object that is of the same slot, it will override that one. And if you were to load like half a person and then accidentally load up like a monster or an object or something like that, it would get rid of your person entirely. So just be careful and maybe write down your favorite items in here, so that you don't have to go looking for them quite as much. So let's see what the next thing I run into is. Let's see. Here you can see the Cyberpunk set. It's called Part M Close Street Smart. There's mini capes in here that were never used in the game. They're kind of fun to look at. I think it's the Kung Fu set, but or no, the Kai set. That's what it's called. It shows up as martial art. That's another popular one. I feel like someone might be looking for. I'm gonna need to remember this one for later. So part M Cloak Christmas Cap, that is for my cousin's character. Let's go ahead and keep on keeping on. I think I'm using the shoes every so go casual. The Almighty or Vengeful Dragon sets, they come up as Sea King. See, I found the Yukata hat that I have going in Flyff over here. I think that, being that it's a private server, there is only one model for this hat, but several textures. Sometimes it's hard to find these textures for the other separate colors, so I'm going to go ahead and just open that one and then recolor it myself. So that is under Part M, a pink yukata hat. So open Part M, a pink yukata cap, just like that. Hands are the hands, upper is the torso and pants, cap is the hat, and I think boots or shoes are the, of course, named item, and there you go, you can see that loaded in just fine. On to the next one, and like I said, if you replace this item with another thing from the same slot, it will override just that one, so if I do find the correctly colored hair later, by some chance I can just go back and change that. Let's see, next up, we have, I found my cloak here, so part M, clo nameless. And that took away my face for some reason. Part M, head 7. Let's try that again and see if that takes away the cloak. Alright, so for in this case I'm going to have to do those two objects separately, but that's not a big deal. Sometimes clicking on one of the items and using the arrow keys on the keyboard helps you navigate a little bit. I noticed that I am getting into just some regular armor here. Okay, then it went back to some normal stuff, so never mind that. Here's a pink version of the hair that I got. That's a Fly for Sky item. One of the mods used to have a pink version with a monkey on it. Here's the same hair that I have, except without the mask. I'm halfway tempted to use this one because it kind of looks like this picture of some art that was done for us. Knight upper. I'm gonna painfully resist though. Alright, I found the shirt that I use. It's part M Dagoon upper, which makes sense being that it's called a Dagoon shirt over here, Dagoon suit. But you can't rely on names matching up. So part M Dagoon upper, just like that. We're getting closer. I found the shoes, so part M Clo tattoo guy. Part M Clo tattoo guy foot. There's the shoes. We are almost done. If I remember correctly, looking for this set of hands was very difficult last time I did this. It is a retexture that I did myself on a wedding ring to look like the in-game item of the couple ring. Has always been kind of a shout out or homage to my wife, being that we met on this game. She even made me a real life couple ring, which was amazing. I wore it for a very long time. I think I'm not able to just type in hand. Oh, I am able. Okay, that helps. So that's one way to find all the hands quickly. At least the ones that start with an underscore hand. It looks like if it's not underscore hand, then that doesn't work. Alright, good to know. Let's try part M wed, or just W. So it's not under wedding. maybe male wedding. Get my mouse out of the way there. No match. Boyfriend. I can also discern that because the ring is only on one hand, I'm not looking for a texture like this that is only one hand, because that would mirror it on both sides. I'm looking for a texture that has two hands in the picture, so that I know that one is different than the other. Well, I made it to the bottom and I didn't see it. I apologize that not all of you will have this option, but when I made it, like when I retextured it myself, I usually save a copy of it. So let's see if I can find out what it's named under there. So part M clo. So I had it right, but there was just a clo in front there. So let's go ahead and go back. These are all the ones that I've gone in and recolored just for fun inside the game. A couple extra options too. I got some of the originals saved just in case I changed my mind, which were quite sad when I would change it and then realize I deleted the real file and kind of stuck with it at that point. So let's go ahead and go to open part M clo, probably for clothes, for the clothing sets, and then wed, and that would be hand. Alright, gonna check one more thing. I think alright, I did some looking around and I didn't find what I was looking for, but regardless, here is mostly what I needed for the character. The weapons should be done separately, and I've learned that it looks like the cape has to be done separately as well. So I'll go ahead and get less things in the way. I don't think I really need this anymore. Nah, it can be helpful. It can be a little helpful. Let's go ahead and just get Blender in the background though. Go ahead back to the model editor once you have finished loading your character in like this. We're going to go to File and Save. Find a place you want to put it. I have my little Blender folder to put all those things there. Go to Flyff, let's do Model Extracts, and you see I've tried this once before. Tutorial Guy is what I named it, so let's call it a Tutorial Man. And I'm going to save it in, see there's three different options. You have .o3d, which is what it originally was, .day or .obj. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as is and hit save. It says file successfully saved. Next we will open up that 3D builder program mentioned earlier and find some way to open up a file. I have almost no experience with this program. I only know how to do this. So we're going to go to load object, go to our Blender folder, and see, it looks like I'm in the right folder and I don't see Tutorial Man here, so I'm going to hit cancel real quick, go back over here, hit save, and this time type in .obj to choose the obj object file extension down there. Hit save and then load object again, and here we see Tutorial Man. Open that up. This is loading file. If you were to try and load the OBJ into Blender as it is right now, you would get the model without the textures. So it's best to go through this. It says texture file is required. Go ahead and hit proceed. It told us what file we were looking for, which was the wedding hands. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this PC, local disk, program files, Flyff, model, and texture, and type in that one right there. Click on that, and it says texture file is required, and it tells you right here which one you're looking for. Part M clo tattoo guy foot 1. So hit that button, then PC, local disk, program files, Flyff sky, model, texture, and then part Is it Clo Tattoo? Yeah. If you select the wrong one, just a small window pops up saying you didn't select this file, and shows you the name of it again, so you can try again. Part M, a pink yukata. Sometimes it defaults to the right folder, other times I have to click my way there every time. You get pretty used to this process after a while, though. Part in a pink yukata, which is not pink, and I don't remember finding the other textures. That's interesting. I have a feeling because I have loaded these objects before that it remembers them from last time. Ooh, it's all like mirrored. That's really cool. But yeah, go ahead and go through that until your model pops up like this. Go ahead and hit the check mark on import model. And then we are going to go to File, Save As, and let's change the format to OBJ. Gonna go back to Blender, Flyff, and my model extracts. Go to 3D Builder. This is the ones I have separated from before and after going through this program. We've got Tutorial Man here. Save that. And it's going to have you save a bunch of things right now. Lots of MTL and OBJ. It's pretty much saving all the different objects and textures to be opened all at once for Blender. Let's go ahead and click through while it saves them all. Looks like we're all done, so we can go ahead and pop into Blender, eviscerate that default cube, go up to the top left, File, Import, and we're going to look for the one that says OBJ, which is the wavefront option. Go to our Blender folder, go to Flyff, go to Model Extract, go to 3D Builder, and click on Tutorial Man OBJ. And you will now see something very massive has popped up. I'm going to go ahead and scale that down to a size that I enjoy. That's a pretty good size there. Go ahead and hit Control A on scale so that it doesn't have to become a problem later. And now Flyff loads in 3 different quality options. You have low, high, excuse me, low, high, and medium resolution detail. We only want the high detail for this because we're not actually trying to play the game right now. And so the way you do that is go ahead and click on one piece of the body and just try and scoot it over. Looks like that one came by itself, which is nice. Check the hands, that came by itself. Check the shoes, aha, we have duplicates. And so rule of thumb with this is that you want the item with the object number that is the lowest. So we have object 4, object 8, that one can go. Object 6, that one can go. And then go ahead and put this back with Shift S, selection to cursor, if the cursor is still in the center. Then go up to the hair, move that out of the way. Looks like we got more duplicates. This is object 5, this is object 7, object 9, put that one back. How's the face looking? That one's good to go. So I think that's everything. What we'll do now, I think, is press Alt Z, or alternatively going down to this button here and selecting texture. And it looks like it is very dark in here. Sometimes I'll open up the in panel to bring up this toolbar over here, and scroll down to shading. And this button is either multi-texture or GLSL. I'll flip them around a bit and see which one I like better. It looks like in this case GLSL is what we want. I'm going to go ahead and right click the model, hold shift, click the hands, still holding shift, click the face and the hair and the shoes. And I'm going to press Control J. That put them all in one model, so I don't have to select pieces and now they all move at once. Next up, I'm going to go to this material panel over here, and there's a bunch of different materials in here for each piece. I'm going to go ahead and turn the specular off of all of them because we don't need that weird shininess. In some cases I might even turn on the shadeless, depending on if you want your characters to be in the shadows or not. This can make a big difference. For now I'm going to go ahead and leave that off, I think, though. Then next I'm going to, with the object still selected, go over here and press smooth. That'll smooth everything out to look more like your in-game character. And you'll notice on certain objects, such as the hair right here, or with the bow back here, there is some white spaces there because it's not transparent yet. Let's go ahead and find, see, this is the shoes. Is there any transparent issues on the shoes? Not that I can see. This is the outfit, no transparency issues there. This is the hat, definitely transparency issues. So with this selected, we will go down to transparency, select that so that it's active. I'm going to put on Z transparency here, put the alpha all the way down to 0, and that will make the entire object invisible, which is not what you want. Let's go to the texture panel up here next to materials. And let's see, you want to make sure this button here that says use alpha is selected. Scroll down a bit more, and under the influence, check the box here next to alpha, and that will bring your object back. However, it will include transparency now so that you can see through those objects. It appears that for the most part that is the only transparency issue with this set. The only other thing that I have to do is to go back into model editor and find my cape and weapons. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that once more. See, I think you understand the gist of it. I will show you just me opening up the weapons, and then we won't go through all that again on camera, since you probably understand now. I try to make this as straightforward as I can. So we are going to go to, I believe it is obj underscore WEA for weapon, and let's see, maybe not obj, so is it just WEA? It's item. Okay, so item underscore WEA, and if you look at these, you can see SWT for I believe it's sword two-hander. Then you have KNU for knuckle, YOY for yo-yo, WAN for wand. There's another SWT, and then SWO is like a one-handed sword. STA is staff. CHE. Wow, what's that one? We have bow down here. AXT is a two-handed axe. AXE is a one-handed axe. SHI is a shield. But anyway, I am looking for an axe, and it is the red crystal. Here's crystal, platinum, sapphire, crystal. Here's red crystal here. Before I actually select on it, I wanted to show you how Lusika is spelt. Lusika, whereas that is not how it is spelled in the game. We'll go ahead and press open, and you will find this lovely, lovely axe right there. And you can just go ahead and file, save, and open it through the menus as you wish here. See, I don't have any bones, so I can't really show you how to make them hold an object. Let's say you had a bone, because I know this is something that people struggle with if they're just starting Blender. Let's say you have a bone here, and your little axe or whatever. That's an axe. Let's see, I would go ahead and position the axe in the hand. and get it where you want it to be, and then under the Constraints tab here, you would hit Add Object Constraint and do Child of. You would select it to be the armature, and the bone would be the hand bone or whatever you wish it to be. Your object will go out of place, and then you'll press Select Inverse. You want your influence to be on 100%. If you want them to keep holding the object, you can animate this to turn on and off with the I key with your mouse over it, like this. So letter I would animate it, and then I can do like Alt I to delete keyframe. Anyway, that will make it so that this bone is in charge of that, and then so as you move him around, the axe will go with him. Nice and handy. Okay, so then a couple more things before I let you go. Go ahead and go into tab mode on your character here, and you'll see it is triangulated. And that is because in most games, triangulation is more game friendly than animation friendly. At the moment right now, if you wanted to say double up on his topology to make it look more soft and less jagged, it would look surprisingly not too bad. His hands got a little funky, but you know, I think that wasn't bad at all. But if you wanted this to be easier to edit for yourself, if you wanted to change any features on it or try and animate the mouth or something like that, I would go into tab mode, select everything, and select it all as vertices, and I believe it is Alt-J. Yes, so Alt-J will actually turn everything from triangles into quads as best as it can. There are a few that it missed because it wasn't sure how to do that, or it wasn't able to. And so this will clear up a lot of geometry for you, as well as make it a lot easier to edit certain things. I find that pretty handy. So then your next step would be to get an armature going and go through the whole process of lining up the bones where you want it and then hooking it up to the rig, doing some weight painting, and you would be good to go for animation that way. There's many tutorials on YouTube on how to do that armature weight painting, rigging type of thing, so I'll go ahead and save your time on this one. That is how you import your Flyff character into Blender. I hope that this helps someone. I know that this is something that I wanted to know how to do for many years. I kind of wish that I had stumbled upon it sooner so that I could have made some more amazing animations than I have time to do now. At the end of this video, I'll just go ahead and put a couple of clips of you know, some of the animation stuff I've done with this, which isn't really all that many. Again, I apologize that I don't know how to open up the actual terrain in Blender. Sometimes I will use the add-on, I think it's called like Ant Landscape or something, which it looks like I don't have that activated right now. It's been a while since I've used it. Anyway, that's not too important. I can model my own scene and then paint it with textures. You could also go onto YouTube and try and look up texture painting. Oh, looks like I do have it active. Okay. And that way you can learn how to paint. Is it down here? Oh, there it is. So sometimes I'll get a landmass like that, and I can change the seeds around and get what I want, and you know, size it up incredibly, and then go in edit mode and change it as I wish. And then I will actually save these texture files as, so let's see, oh, this PC, local disk, program files, Fly for Sky, and then I think instead of going to model, I go to world. Is that it? That doesn't seem quite right. Weather theme sound effects music log item. Let's go ahead and try a model again. Texture. Yes. There's lots of things in here, such as like cracked pavement, grass and wall textures, some wood, different item decor and things like that in this file folder area as well. And I will go ahead and save a bunch of these into a separate folder and use them as paintbrushes to kind of paint my own landscape as needed for the animation. And so I appreciate you watching this. If you do make any animations with this method, I would greatly appreciate it if you would let me know in the comment section. Just be like, hey, I made an animation, uploaded on my channel. Would you come please check it out? Because I am really into that, and I would love to see any animations you all make with this. I hope that it gives you all some inspiration, and once again, thank you for watching. My name is Colin, and hope that you have a wonderful day.